Hi, I'm Aaron.
I'm Claire.
And we're from the Wine Library doing Behind the Vine today with 2008 Salvard Unique Sauvignon Blanc. First, we wanted to give you a little bit about ourselves. Claire, if you'd like to start.
Sure. Let's see, I've been working at the Wine Library since March of 2010. Let's see, my background would be prior to that working at a winery in Chile for a little bit, and let's see, I'm really excited to be here at the Wine Library. It's been exposing me to a lot of stuff, such as this Sauvignon Blanc from an unknown region, relatively unknown region.
Sure. I'm Aaron. What I do is some of the bulk purchasing for the store, as well as buy for the countries of Australia, port wine. I do Alsace, France, and Austria as well. We were introduced to this wine, 6 months ago or so, and it really delivered complexity for its modest price point. This is grown in Loire Valley, so a little bit different than your standard Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand or Sancerre, and really caught our eye and our palates with delivering complexity for its price point. It comes from the Loire Valley, and I wanted to give you a couple facts about that to start. The Loire Valley is known as the Garden of France. That would be the direct translation if there was one. The Loire is planted with 185,000 hectares of vine. So to give you some perspective, it's not large compared to other regions in France, but it's definitely on the map as a wine producing region. Now there's many famous regions inside of the Loire, including Sancerre, Muscadet, Pouilly-Fumé, and the Chinon. The main grape varietals produced are Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, Cabernet Franc, and Melon de Bourgogne. Melon de Bourgogne is what you find in Muscadet. It's an indigenous grape of Muscadet, and definitely is a little bit off the beaten path. Where you have such domestic grapes as Cab, Merlot, Syrah, and so forth, these are a little bit less well known, but certainly deliver for their price points.
Absolutely.
Now this is a product imported by Kermit Lynch, an importer you may be familiar with, and if you'd like to tell them a little bit more about Kermit.
Sure. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this are fairly familiar with Kermit Lynch. I think his background is especially impressive. He opened his retail shop in Berkeley, California in 1972, and since then has just been bringing in a plethora of interesting products that often slip under the radar, often therefore being great values. In 2002, he was voted Wine Professional of the Year by the James Beard Foundation, and has just been doing a ton of work, not only with importing, but winemaking as well. So when I'm recommending one of his wines, I would definitely like to point out his name for the sake of unique terroir and care paid to the product that's coming in.
Sure, finding the niche products within a certain region and really delivering price per QPR, you know. So I wanted to get into a little bit about Domaine du Salvard, which is the winery producing this wine. Now, they have planted 15 hectares of vineyard. What I wanted to do was include the numbers to what that exactly means. I know that a few years ago when I first heard the term hectare, I was like, oh, that sounds great. No idea what it means. So what that translates to is a hectare is equivalent of 2.47 acres worth of land. Now, 2.47 acres, to give you some perspective, will equal 1,584 gallons per 2.47 acres. Now what that means is 641 gallons of wine per acre. So, I mean, this is a pretty large production per acre area. The soil type at Domaine du Salvard is typically clay. The vines are 20 years of age on average, and they produce 85,000 bottles a year. Translates to 7,083 cases a year. This particular one is 100% Sauvignon Blanc, and I think really delivers for the price, like I mentioned earlier. Now it's from Cheverny, and if you'd like to get into a little bit more about what Cheverny is.
Sure. So earlier I mentioned, one of the best parts of being at the Wine Library is getting exposed to wines that are from relatively unfamiliar regions, and in this case, Cheverny. It doesn't say the name of the village on the bottle, and that is because in order to call a wine by the village name, must be about 60 or so percent Sauvignon Blanc and blended with a small dose of Chardonnay or Chenin Blanc in some cases. However, this bottle is 100% Sauvignon Blanc, making it easier for consumers to know exactly what they're getting. And I find this Sauvignon Blanc to hold a lot of similarities to other Sauvignon Blancs from the Sancerre. However, it has a bit less of that bracing acidity and a little bit of a smoother minerality. Although the minerality is there, it's integrated a bit more subtly.
So what I wanted to do as well is get into a little bit of the background of Sauvignon Blanc as a grape. Now, Sauvignon Blanc is from two French words, sauvage, being wild, and blanc being white, combining the two to make Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc is widely grown in Chile, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. I mean, it is very widely planted, kind of on a broader spectrum. It is indigenous of southwest France, so that's where the grape originated, and it actually was paired in a cross between Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc to make Cabernet Sauvignon. Sauvignon Blanc is also blended in Australia and Bordeaux with Semillon to create their natural white blends. And in the U.S., you may have heard of Sauvignon Blanc as Fumé Blanc. That actually was a play by Robert Mondavi to kind of brand Sauvignon Blanc in California. Now, I think we should get into the wine and actually give you an idea as to the flavor profile and the aromatics of the wine. What initially drew me to this wine, as I had mentioned before, was the aromatics. You know, sometimes you get wines sub $20 or under $20, and the aromatic profile just isn't there. You're smelling it, you give it air, you wait a little bit, and it just never delivers. Yeah. This one I felt was pretty blatant.
Yeah, a lot of tropical fruit on the nose. Not overkill, but it's there. It also smells light. I guess that's as a result of the acidity that's in the wine.
I'm definitely picking up a little bit of like ruby red grapefruit.
Yeah.
You definitely get that ripe acidity to it, a little bit of citrus. And it's got a bit of minerality, a bit of that seashell, you know, typical of a wine of Sancerre, but here from the Loire Valley.
Right.
Now, on the palate, you'll certainly feel that acidity. Grips the sides of your tongue a little bit, makes itself apparent.
Your cheeks too.
Yeah, yeah. And the interesting part about this flavor profile is I'm picking up a bit of green pepper almost. It's got a little bit of jalapeno green pepper, and that's mixed in with your grapefruit and your mango, your tropical fruits that you had mentioned.
Right, right. It's nice. It's all very light on the palate. I totally agree with that green pepper note, and even the jalapeno. It's zesty and slightly spicy. Very nice, good flavor. The fruit definitely leads the way.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I could see this pairing with a variety of cuisine. Definitely fish, shellfish, chicken, salads, a nice salad with some almonds and fruit in it or something.
Yeah, definitely lighter fare. This is one, I think chicken would be an ideal pairing, or shellfish, like you had mentioned, lobster, things along those lines. So we just want to say thank you for checking out our video on Behind the Vine. This is something that you will regularly get the chance to see and hopefully get the chance to try.
Yeah.
So 2008 Salvard Unique Sauvignon Blanc. Thanks a lot.